Good morning. Another video concerning the snake. As I previously spoke about, we become snakes when we tune out the voice of God, which is our conscience. The conscience that contends with us to do right, never tells us to do wrong. When we are tempted in our Garden of Eden by the enemy, by the snake, to do wrong. When we choose to do wrong, the more we do wrong, the more we tune out that voice. And that is the purpose of the snake, to cause you to tune out the voice of God, so that you will continue down that pathway. And basically, that is the curse of the sinful nature, when we desire to choose, because that was the deception, wanting to choose for self what is right and what is wrong, and not what God says is right and wrong. And we get so far out there, we wander so far from our Eden, our peace, our safety, our tranquility, and our relationship with God, that we no longer know what right is and what wrong is. We're just out there in total darkness. Even Jesus said that people out there in darkness, they don't know where they're going. They searching, but they don't know where to go. And they're leading down a pathway that is broad and that is wide. There are a lot. He said there's many that go down that route. And the reason being is because of the snakes. The snakes that desire to ruin your garden. When people get to the point where they tune out the voice of God, their conscience, they do this so that they will not have to feel shameful about the wrong that they do. And the only way they can feel less shameful about doing wrong and calling wrong good and calling evil good or calling wrong right is to have people to join in and say that the wrong that they're doing is right. And the only way they could do that is by convincing others that the wrong that they're doing is right. And when they convince others that the wrong that they're doing is right, the only way that they could confirm that is by having someone else do exactly what it is they're doing. This is why they applaud the wrong. They are people that do wrong. They cheer people on that do wrong right along with them, because it's their same thoughts, their same patterns, the same pathway that they think is right. But God said that pathway leads to your demise and your destruction. Because in the end, whether we like it or not, in the end, we will stand before God and be judged. And Jesus made it perfectly clear. And here's the key, where snakes beware. Snakes beware. Here is the key. Jesus said, out of the abundance of your heart, your mouth will speak. For whatever is in your heart, it shall come out. And this is why it says in the book of Proverbs that we should guard our heart, not against people, but from what's guard our hearts from what might come out. Because out of our heart flows the issues of life, which means what we desire to say is what we desire to do. And what we desire to say is what we desire for other people to do. And this is why it says in the Bible also that there is life and death is in the power of your tongue. And that does not mean in a sense where everybody's been saying that, well, you can speak your truth into existence, or you can speak this into existence. No. Death and life is in the power of your tongue, because you can lead someone down the wrong pathway as a snake. You could tell somebody that wrong is right and lead them down a pathway that leads them further away from a potential relationship with God, and then you lead them down a pathway to their destruction. Because when you say things out of your mouth, you give life to whatever it is you say if it's careless. Me saying to my wife that I'm going to the store to pick up a loaf of bread, you want me to get something and bring it back, there's nothing wrong with that. But if I'm telling Youngblood that he could get dollars on the street, you know what I'm saying, by doing this and that, or that cop is my enemy, you know what I'm saying, blast that cop, or treat that woman like she trash, or girl, he ain't nothing, all you gotta do is get what he want from his pockets, you know what I'm saying, you know, get what you want by doing this and doing that. And girl, I wouldn't take this, I would do that. And what you're doing is you're leading people down a pathway to believe that wrong is right, that evil is good. I wouldn't let them get away with that. I'll clap back, or I'll do this and I'll do that. You know, whenever you instruct someone to do what you know is wrong, just because you want to be comfortable in the wrong that you're doing, by having somebody agree with the wrong that you're doing, then Jesus said every careless word, every word that leads people down a careless lifestyle where they don't care about their eternity, where they don't care about the life that they live, when they hurt and wound other people, you are going to be judged, because God says that the intent and the motive behind what you say is critical. You give life to evil, and you give death to a relationship that would be to God. And this is what happened to Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden. When Adam blamed Eve, God said, you are cursed because you heeded the voice of your wife over the voice of your God. And this is the danger in being a snake, desiring to do wrong and to desire to have someone else to follow you down that same pathway. This is why you have social media that drowns out the voice of good, but renders the voice of evil. So much evil stuff on social media, but people talk about other things, you know, they drown out that voice. But in any case, people who do shameful things, they don't like to feel shameful about what it is they do. And if you are a child of God, filled with the Holy Spirit, and you do what's right, and people see that you do what's right, you cause them to feel shameful. You bring back the shame that the conscience made them feel when they were doing wrong. When they did wrong, was okay with it. But when you come around and you show them that right is right and wrong is wrong, you have become a conscience, God's conscience to them. You have become God's light to them that they have dimmed and put out. They become aware, conscious of what good and evil really is because of the way that you live. That's why it's important that you live your life in a way where people can't stand before you and judge you. And this is why you have the enemy, who is called the accuser. He's standing in heaven to accuse you of everything that you do that's wrong. So if you continue down a pathway saying, naming the name of Christ and saying that you're a child of God and you're a believer, but yet you're doing wrong in the eyesight of others, then what type of example are you being? You're being the wrong type of example to others. I'm not saying that you won't make a mistake here and there, you know, and that's why we have the throne of grace. But if you intentionally do wrong and show that people that wrong is all right, even as a child of God, you take away their shame and their guilt that they would have for doing wrong. When they're around you, they feel okay with it now. Well, it ain't as bad as I thought it was. I ain't as bad as I thought I was. You know, because you exhibit the light that you give to them is darkness. And Jesus said it's a dangerous thing to believe that the evil that you're doing is good. It's dangerous. So be careful. We must all be careful that when we say things and when we do things around other people, that we're not leading them down a pathway, because not only are you going to be judged, but you become an accomplice to what they do. an accomplice to their sin. You put credit to the wrong that they want to do. That's why some people come and ask you questions about things that they should do. They want somebody to get on their bandwagon to approve the wrong that they want to do and say that the wrong that they want to do is right. That's why they ask you advice. So be careful when people ask for your advice, and make sure you give them the right advice. Don't be ashamed or afraid to tell them of the right thing to do. If people can't take, that's what's wrong today. People can't take constructive criticism. When you criticize them and tell them that the wrong that they're doing is wrong, then they say that you're racist, or you this or you that. You know what I'm saying? Well, I don't want to hear what you got to say, and then they tune you out. You can't be afraid to lose friends, because if a friend will lose you for telling them, or a friend will leave you, or a person will not want to be around you for telling them that the wrong that they're doing is wrong because they don't want to know right from wrong, then they don't need to be your friend anyway, because they had bad intentions for you in the first place. I just wanted to say that on today. And with that being said, I'll speak to you soon, and I'll be looking forward to giving another video, and I will be doing live. God bless you.